The courtroom doors swung open with a loud metallic click, and everyone inside turned. A tall, sharp-eyed woman in her late 50s marched in with the confidence of a queen entering her palace. Her hair was perfectly shaped, her lips pursed, and her chin held so high it looked like she was trying to smell the air above everyone else. This was Linda Marwood, the plaintiff, and the self-proclaimed victim of emotional devastation. Behind her walked her daughter Emma, a soft-spoken woman in her mid-20s holding a baby car seat. The 3-month-old baby girl inside slept peacefully, unaware that her own name was the reason her family was falling apart. As usual, Judge Judy's courtroom was buzzing, cameras ready, audience whispering. A mother suing her daughter over a baby name, people were hooked before the case even began. This wasn't just a family disagreement. It was a full-blown reputation battle, a clash of egos, and the kind of entitlement only life could write. The claim, "I deserve a legacy." The bailiff read out the case. Linda Marwood is suing her daughter, Emma Marwood, for emotional damages amounting to $7,500 because her daughter did not name the baby after her as promised. The crowd gasped. Judge Judy raised her eyebrows so sharply it could have cut glass. "Judge Judy, let me get this straight, you're suing your daughter because she didn't give her child your name." "Linda, Your Honor, it wasn't just any name, it was a promise. A sacred agreement between a mother and daughter. I was supposed to be honored, instead she betrayed me." "Judge Judy. Oh, this is going to be fun." Emma swallowed nervously. She looked exhausted, the kind of exhaustion only new mothers understand. Linda's story, she owes me this. When Judge Judy allowed the plaintiff to speak, Linda wasted no time. "Linda, I raised Emma alone, no husband, no support, I sacrificed everything. She promised that her first daughter would be named after me, Linda Rose Marwood. That name represents generations of strong women in our family." "Judge Judy. MMHMM. Linda. So imagine my humiliation when she announced the birth and the name was Lily. Lily Marwood, no Linda, not even a middle name, nothing, she erased me." Judge Judy flipped through the case file. "Judge Judy. I don't see a contract here, did you write an agreement, sign anything?" "Linda. No but." "Judge Judy. No, then what we have is a disappointment, not a lawsuit." The audience chuckled. Linda glared at them like she wanted the entire room fined. But she didn't give up. "Linda. I financially supported Emma during the pregnancy, I helped with medical bills, I bought the crib, I paid for the baby shower, and she used my money while hiding the fact she wouldn't keep her promise." "Judge Judy. Now we're getting somewhere. Emma SBEAKS, it's MY baby, not a trophy." Judge Judy allowed Emma to respond. "Emma. Your Honor, I never promised to name my baby after her, she assumed it. Every time she brought it up I told her I wasn't sure yet, and when I chose the name Lily she exploded." "Judge Judy. Define exploded." "Emma. She called me ungrateful, she said I ruined her legacy. She showed up at the hospital crying hysterically not to see Lily but because the name was Linda." The audience murmured, Judge Judy's mouth tightened. "Judge Judy. So when you say hysterically." "Emma. She tried to convince the nurse to change the name on the birth certificate, Your Honor." The courtroom nearly erupted. Judge Judy put her hands up. "Judge Judy. Quiet, quiet." Then she turned to Linda with that deadly glare. "Judge Judy. You tried to change a baby's name at the hospital behind your daughter's back." "Linda. I was protecting our family name." "Judge Judy. No, you were protecting your ego." Linda's lips trembled in indignation. The RECIPTS, the real motive REVLED. Judge Judy examined the financial documents Linda brought. "Judge Judy. You paid $600 for a crib, $320 for a baby shower venue, $180 for decorations, and $500 toward medical bills. Is this correct?" "Emma. Yes, but Your Honor," she insisted, "I never asked. She was planning the baby's life before I even delivered." "Judge Judy. So the money was a gift." "Linda. It was an investment in a promise." Judge Judy put her folder down dramatically. "Judge Judy. Ma'am, unless your daughter signed a document saying I will name my child after my mother in exchange for money, this is called a gift. Under the law, gifts are not refundable, and family expectations are not enforceable contracts. Linda's eye twitched. Linda's entitlement, level 100. But the plaintiff wasn't backing down. She pulled out her final argument. Linda, Your Honor, you don't understand. I have status in my community. My friends were expecting a namesake. I already told everyone the baby would be named Linda Rose. This embarrassed me. I became a laughingstock. Judge Judy leaned forward, voice sharp. Judge Judy. Oh, well, we wouldn't want your country club circle to suffer disappointment because you made promises about someone else's baby. The laughter in the court was instant. Judge Judy. You don't own your daughter, you don't own her uterus, and you definitely don't own this child's name. Emma sighed with relief. The cross-examination, Judge Judy goes in. Judge Judy now focused on Emma. Judge Judy. Tell me why you named her Lily. Emma. It's the name of my grandmother, my father's mother. She passed when I was little. She was the kindest woman I ever knew. Linda instantly interrupted. Linda. And what about my mother? What about my side of the family? Judge Judy. Don't interrupt. Linda froze. Emma. I wanted my daughter to be named after someone who represented love, warmth, and peace, not pressure, demands, or guilt. Linda gasped like someone had stabbed her with a pencil. The text messages, the final nail in the coffin. Emma handed the bailiff a printed set of text messages. Judge Judy read them out loud. Linda. Name the baby Linda, you owe me. You wouldn't even exist without me. I'll disown you if you choose something else. You're making a huge mistake. Judge Judy slowly lowered the papers. Judge Judy. Ma'am, you threatened to disown your pregnant daughter over a baby name. Linda. I didn't mean it literally, it was emotional language. Judge Judy. No, that was manipulation. Linda clenched her jaw. Linda's breakdown, I just wanted to be remembred. For the first time, Linda's voice softened, tears welled in her eyes. Linda. I didn't want to fade away. I don't have a partner, I don't have other children. I thought a namesake would keep me alive in some way. The room fell silent. Emma's face softened. Judge Judy leaned back, her tone gentler but firm. Judge Judy. This isn't how you get remembered, you don't demand honor, you earn it. Cliffhanger, the verdict is deloid. Judge Judy closed the folder. Judge Judy. I'm not ready to give a judgment yet, there are still details I need, we'll continue this in part 2. Linda stiffened. Emma looked confused. Judge Judy. This case is messy emotionally, not legally, and I want both of you to think very hard about what truly matters. She banged her gavel. Judge Judy. Court is adjourned until the next session. The courtroom reconvened the next morning. Word had spread fast, a mother suing her own daughter over a baby name was the kind of drama people didn't want to miss. Audience members arrived early. Producers brought in extra lighting. Even the bailiff looked more alert than usual. And then the door opened. Linda walked in first. Her face was stiff, her hair even tighter than yesterday, and her expression was cold, as if she had spent the entire night rehearsing a speech that would win everyone over. Behind her came Emma, holding little Lily in her arms. The baby, wrapped in a pale pink blanket, blinked with sleepy innocence. Judge Judy entered. Everyone stood. Everyone sat. A long silence hung in the air. Judge Judy scanned the room like a hawk. Judge Judy. All right, let's finish this circus. The tension breaks, Linda first. Before Judge Judy could even begin, Linda burst out. Linda. Your Honor, I have new evidence that shows my daughter intentionally deceived me. Judge Judy stared at her. Not impressed. Judge Judy. Unless the evidence is a signed contract obligating her to name her baby after you, sit down. Linda slowly sank back into her seat. Emma looked down at Lily and smoothed her tiny hair. Judge Judy reopens the case. Judge Judy opened the folder she had closed at the end of part 1. Judge Judy. I reviewed everything overnight, the texts, the gifts, the medical payments, and the claims of emotional damage, but there's something deeper happening here, something not in the paperwork. She leaned forward. Judge Judy. And I want both of you to hear it. The courtroom went silent. The root of the war, Control V's, independence. Judge Judy spoke calmly, deliberately. Judge Judy. This isn't about a name, not truly, it's about control. Linda's jaw tightened. Judge Judy. And it's about independence, the kind a daughter earns, the kind a mother has to get comfortable releasing. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Linda stared ahead, refusing to break. Judge Judy. You had one child, ma'am, and you poured your entire identity into being her mother. That's not uncommon, but somewhere along the way you stopped seeing her as a person and started seeing her as your extension. Linda inhaled sharply. Judge Judy. And when she made a decision without your approval, especially one as symbolic as nomming a child, you felt erased, invalidated, forgotten. The room was still. Emma looked over at her mother, really looking at her for the first time. Judge Judy. But that doesn't give you the right to sue her, or bully her, or emotionally blackmail her during pregnancy. The words landed hard. Linda's defense, one last attempt. Linda finally responded. Her voice cracked. Linda. You don't understand, Your Honor. I wasn't trying to control her. I just wanted to matter. I wanted to feel like I left something behind. Judge Judy didn't soften this time. Judge Judy. You think the only way you matter is through a child's name? That's sad and it's wrong. Linda wiped her eyes, trying to regain composure. Emma speaks the truth about her pain. Judge Judy turned to Emma. Judge Judy. Tell me truthfully, how has your mother's behavior affected you? Emma took a deep breath. Emma. When I found out I was pregnant, I was scared, happy but scared. I thought she'd support me. I thought she'd be excited just to be a grandmother. She paused. Emma. But from the moment I told her, she acted like the baby was hers. She told me what to eat, what to wear, how to decorate the nursery, what kind of birth to have, and every single phone call was about the name. The audience listened closely. Emma. I felt suffocated. I felt guilty for wanting something different. I felt like I didn't have permission to be a mother unless I followed her script. She looked at Lily. Emma. I want to raise my daughter with love, not pressure. Linda blinked away tears. Judge Judy's analysis, the law V's, emotions. Judge Judy opened the legal file again. Judge Judy. Legally, this case is simple, very simple. She turned to Linda. Judge Judy. You can't sue anyone for not nomming a baby after you. There is no legal obligation to honor verbal promises about names. Gifts are gifts, not contracts. Emotional disappointment is not actionable. Linda looked down. Judge Judy. Emotionally, that's different, but emotions are not laws, and my job is not to heal your relationship, it's to rule on the claim. Emma's shoulders loosened for the first time. The counterclaim a twist. Suddenly Judge Judy flipped to the last page. Judge Judy. Now we haven't talked about this yet, but there is a counterclaim. Emma's head jerked up. Linda's eyes widened. Judge Judy. Emma, you filed a counterclaim for $500 for harassment, correct? Emma nodded timidly. Emma. Yes, Your Honor, those were the expenses I had to pay because my mother kept interfering with hospital procedures. Judge Judy. Right, according to the file, your mother tried to block hospital discharge because she insisted the baby be renamed. That caused additional administrative fees. She looked at Linda. Judge Judy. You cost your daughter $500 because you refused to accept Lily's name. Linda was stunned. So was the audience. Linda. I was emotional, I didn't think. Judge Judy. That's the problem. The final verdict, a legendary Judge Judy moment. Judge Judy closed the file. She leaned forward. Her voice dropped into the unmistakable tone that always precedes a legendary ruling. Judge Judy. Here is my judgment. The room leaned in. Judge Judy. On the plaintiff's claim. You are out of your mind. Case dismissed. Boom. Gasps, a few laughs, Linda's mouth fell open. But Judge Judy wasn't done. Judge Judy. On the defendant's counterclaim, $500 for interference, hospital disruption, and emotional harassment. Judgment for the defendant. Linda covered her mouth in disbelief. Emma looked shocked. Judge Judy continued. Judge Judy. And let me make this very clear. You are lucky I can't order therapy as part of this judgment, because this relationship needs it. The audience murmured in agreement. Linda's breakdown, the realization hits. Linda burst into tears. Not dramatic tears, real ones. Linda. I didn't mean to hurt her, I'm her mother, I thought I was doing what was right. Judge Judy's voice softened for the first time since the session began. Judge Judy. Wanting to be involved isn't wrong. Wanting to be remembered isn't wrong, but forcing your will onto someone else, that is wrong, and the person you harmed wasn't only your daughter. She pointed at the baby. Judge Judy. She deserves a peaceful family, not a battleground. Linda sobbed harder. Emma's eyes filled too. The start of healing, a mother's first step. Emma looked at her mother, really looked, and spoke gently. Emma. Mom, I don't want to push you away, I want you in Lily's life, but it has to be healthy, it has to be respectful, you have to let me be a mother. Linda lifted her head slowly. Her voice was barely a whisper. Linda. I'm sorry, Emma, I love her and I love you, I was scared of losing both of you. Emma stepped closer. Emma. You're not losing us, you just need to stop trying to control us. Linda nodded through her tears. It wasn't a perfect resolution. But it was real. Judge Judy closes the case with wisdom. Judge Judy looked at both women, her expression firm but kind. Judge Judy. Here is my final piece of advice. If you want to be remembered, don't try to force your name onto a child. Make your presence so loving, so supportive, so warm, that the child grows up wishing they had been named after you. Linda covered her trembling lips. Emma nodded deeply. Lily cooed softly, as if approving the ruling. Judge Judy raised her gavel. Judge Judy. Case closed. Bam. Epilogue 3 months later. A soft narration like YouTube storytelling. 3 months after the case, something unexpected happened. Linda had changed, just a little but noticeably. She visited Emma to help, not to control. She stopped demanding things. She started listening. And one afternoon, while holding baby Lily in her arms, she whispered, I don't need you to have my name. Because you already have my heart. Emma smiled. It wasn't perfect. But healing rarely is. What mattered was this. A family broken by entitlement was slowly rebuilding itself, not through force, but through understanding. And Judge Judy. She didn't just deliver justice. She delivered wisdom.